Who the f do you think you are?
That was step one to seeing Angela slowly start to unravel. Good morning, everybody. The Big Brother 28 cast continues to slog along, as most of this cast is not giving juicy or dramatic or, smart gameplay first week of feeds. I am tired from watching them, but at least one thing is starting that I hope can spice up the feeds, and that is Angela's paranoia. It does seem to be starting to wake up, and we need it to continue to wake up. We need Angela to unravel because the feeds need some chaos. So we're going to start with Angela today. The first thing yesterday is she felt like Haley wanted to see her and Lala fighting. She had a conversation with Barrett talking all about this, saying that Haley and maybe Chuck are planting seeds, that Lala is so rude to Haley, and she had told Haley if anyone was fucking with Haley to tell Angela and she would deal with it. So now Haley's telling Angela that Lala is fucking with her. I will say that Lala does want Angela out sooner rather than later. So her paranoia about that could be right, but that's not really what she's paranoid about. She's paranoid that Haley will tell Lala things about Angela so that Lala and Angela have this fight. I mean, I would love for this feud to fall on Haley, but I feel like Angela feels like Haley wants Angela to create good TV, which so do I, because the feeds need it. But she did get upset.
Who the fuck do you think you are trying to create good TV and get me and her in a fight? Who the fuck do you think you are?
That was step one to seeing Angela slowly start to unravel, although it kind of quickened up as the day went along. Jason was still trying to play Angela yesterday, although that would get shaken up as the day went along. One thing I am interested is to see Facebook's reaction to Angela versus Jason, because Facebook hates Angela. They think she's a bully. They hated the whole crazy eyes thing back in the day. But would they really root for a drag queen over Angela? That's something I am interested in seeing. Drew really tried to throw Jason under the bus yesterday. First, he went to D. And Jason shouldn't be telling Drew all of these thoughts. I think Jason has gotten sloppy with telling too many people how he doesn't want the vets to stick around, how he keeps complaining that the vets are taking TV time away from him, how he thinks Rick Devens is going to win America's favorite player. Like, some of Jason's reasoning does get on my nerves, but I also am still rooting for Jason to turn some of these newbies against the vets. But Drew's not going to be that guy. He did snitch to D first. He told D that Jason was after Devens for being like the house dad with the rest of the guys. After that conversation, though, Jason interrupted and was able to talk to D, where in that conversation he admitted to not liking Devens, and that was without D even bringing it up. So I do think Jason kind of covered his ass with D for now. Jason also then tried to make a trio with D and Drew, how they should protect each other, that the Latinos should have their back. Drew saying he barely speaks Spanish to D, though, so I don't know how good Drew feels about that, because Drew then continued to throw Jason under the bus. He filled in Angela and Devens about everything Jason had been saying about them, which of course Angela and Devens were upset to hear this. Angela upset the most that Jason has been playing her and that Jason has been saying that he was playing her. Because Drew told Angela, after Angela and Jason had another sweet moment, that Jason faked the tears in that conversation with Angela, which he did. So this was definitely the next thing that upset Angela. Angela said, "It's fucking ridiculous to play with my heartstrings like that." And she was upset that Jason said he was playing her. I mean, it is kind of interesting to see the tables turned on Angela. In her season, she really, really tried those fake tears to pull on heartstrings. Somebody doing it to her, I am amused by that. Drew also confirmed to Angela that Haley wants Angela and Lala to fight, which of course Angela was thinking. So, maybe her paranoia is working for her so far this season. Drew told Angela to not take the bait with Haley. When Angela and Devins told Barrett about what Drew was saying, Barrett did bring up when Jason asked him, Kamu, and Melody if Angela is a Karen. So that kind of added to all the things that Jason has been saying about Angela and Devins. That got back to them. Jason does seem to love to back himself against a wall on a reality TV show. But I'm not going to root against Jason, especially when it comes to Jason versus Devins. I am enjoying Dee and Angela far more than I am enjoying Devins on live feeds. Devins sat around yesterday half of the day with his sunglasses on inside, which to me, if I was having these one-on-one conversations with Devins while he has sunglasses on, I would distrust the fuck out of him. And then we have Drew, who is like really up the vet's asses, and I don't respect it. I can agree that a vet is a shield, but I will never agree that 3 vets should be a shield to jury, especially when one of those vets won a game before, because that is just illogical. Because then you're just hoping that somehow it's going to be easy to be able to take 3 vets out come jury, 3 different players at jury. Because like one vet, okay, you want to get Rachel to jury last season and then try and go after her, sure. But 3 is nonsense. And then on top of that, what is Drew's game plan later in the game? Because the vets know that Drew is being a giant rat. Like, they now have information on him. Because I just feel like Drew is doing too much ratting out to one alliance. And it's week 1. But he's giving all this information to the vets. So I cannot buy the Drew hype right now. If Drew starts to form a backup plan ever, I can get behind his rat game. But he's not really even playing a rat game right now in a usual sense of the word. Because he's not just ratting back and forth to people. He's ratting just to the vets for brownie points. Barrett also did snitch on Yash about the 7-person alliance he created. Barrett is also, a part of that up the vet's asses gameplay. However, I do think Barrett is like more subdued in his social game than Drew's right now. So Barrett could pivot right now if he needed to. And I'm not saying that Drew can't pivot, because clearly people like to tell him information. But like, Drew can't pivot too hard anytime soon, because the vets have him by the balls right now, because he's given them all this information just in week 1. One thing Drew could have, though, is like, he is close to Devins, and I think Devins is still choosing to trust him. And if Devins chooses him as like the one person he's loyal to all season, that's good for Drew. It's a nightmare scenario for me, because I would say they are 2 of my 3 least favorite guys to watch on feeds so far. It's these 2 and Chuck. Because Drew also had this conversation with Dee, how he can't stand Lala because, God forbid, Lala wears a bikini, which was very much giving ageism. Very much so. That was a very nasty comment from Drew. Dee, however, later had a conversation with Angela where they kind of are both a little still distrusting of Drew's information, specifically about Jason now, because as they were talking, it seems like they got 2 different stories from Drew. So Angela did try to warn Devins about Drew, maybe keep an eye on him, maybe be wary. Angela told Devins that Dee got a different story from Drew, so they really should look in closer to his information. I still think Devins trusts Drew. I think Angela's paranoia will continue to waffle on Drew, though. Dee and Taylor had a conversation about Haley. Haley continues to rub a lot of different people the wrong way. Taylor was saying that Haley is going very hard and that she's not consistent either, which she's not. She has not had consistency in her game planning so far this season. Then in typical Haley fashion, as she's been doing since the live feeds turned on, she interrupted this one-on-one conversation between Dee and Taylor. She really has a knack for interrupting one-on-one conversations, which I would think eventually will be another thing that continues to rub people the wrong way about Haley. Rome did give an attempt with D to push Haley as D's renom. However, that would have gone against D's playing with these two different alliances and being the first HOH and wanting no blood on her hands this week. So D did officially renom Ashley. And Ashley, since being on the block yesterday afternoon, has done zero real gaming since being nominated. Like, when she first found out on Sunday that she might be the renom, she had some conversations for a couple of hours. That's it. Now that she's been the renom, I don't see her gaming at all. And I don't respect that. Drew and Mallory had a conversation about other players. They also discussed Mallory's still being upset that D nominated her in the first place. They also talked about Jason and how he might be one of the players that makes bigger moves this season, even though Drew's throwing Jason under the bus before he can make said bigger moves. I don't know what Drew's game plan is with the vets, which is why I don't understand why his head is so far up their asses. Drew then continued simping for the vets and told D that Mallory wants to target her if she wins HOH. Drew said that he tried to get Mallory to see that the three icons are good to keep in the game for now, and they should go after the cool kids who everyone is considering the Haley, Chuck, Kamu trio. They also discussed if they should keep Taylor. I think D right now does want Taylor to stay because they're closer than D and Ashley or D and Yash, even though I think Yash has tried to be close with D. Drew said that it feels like the vibe right now is anyone that sits next to Ashley will likely go home. But Drew and D did consider if they should just cut Yash right now if he's on the block against anyone, which I think is what people were considering anyway. They did discuss how if Ashley does stay, she might gravitate towards Haley and just be another number for them, and that Taylor wouldn't do that. This is good for Taylor if people continue to consider that Ashley would just work with Haley and not with others. That's something Ashley has going for her on the block. Yash tried yesterday. He had a conversation with D and Drew, said Ashley has to go, that she's acting slow, and compared her to last year's Ashley like we all have been doing. Yash also tried to get D to prepare for a tie. If it gets 7-7, D will have to break a tie. D did tell Yash that she would save him in a tie vote even against Taylor. However, D later told Taylor that Yash had that conversation with her and she just told Yash what he wanted to hear, but assured Taylor that if it was a tie, she would break the tie in Taylor's favor, at least between Taylor and Yash here. Yash also tried to make an unlikely duo with Angela, which I think in her current state, she started to go for and was giving him some conspiracy theories that she had. She was talking about this group of people that might be forming that's going to be a danger to people. Though I don't think Yash enjoyed those conspiracy theories from her and her cracked mind starting to spin, because he later had a conversation with Rome saying he didn't know what the fuck Angela was talking about. But at least Yash and Taylor are fighting to stay. And at this point, I would prefer Ashley go, because the feeds are already rough. The gameplay is going to be dull, if not bad, because of vet ass kissing. I do feel like Yash fits in the least with the cast socially, but I like Ashley's personality, but it's not enough to carry feeds. She's not cracked. She's not that as entertaining as Ashley last year. It doesn't seem like she's going to be able to maneuver herself well like Ashley did last year. So I don't exactly know what Ashley's bringing to the table. She does still have 2.5 days to get her head in the game and fight to stay, though, so I could change my mind. Rome very well could get the numbers to keep Yash over either woman, and I think he's going to keep trying to do that because he sees Yash as like a shield for him. There is still 2.5 days until eviction, so as usual, we are going to see a lot of waffling. We might as well touch upon Rome's showmance with Lyric real quick. I hate it. It's moving so fast. They're so horny for each other. Lyric was already telling Melody that the she's starting to have feelings for the guy already. And they spent another night in bed together, at least making out, if not more, because the feeds went away from them after a while. Most importantly, Lyric has already told Rome that she is a lawyer within 1 week, the one secret that she wanted to keep. So that tells you how down bad Lyric is with Rome already. Also, Lyric has been making comments that she just wants to talk to Rome. I just feel like the game is out the window with Lyric. She has had some game chats over the last couple of days, but that is clearly already her second priority to, this showmance with Rome. I am enjoying Mallory's pettiness. Mallory yesterday wanted to make spaghetti because that's Haley's favorite meal, and Haley is a have-not. She wanted to eat the spaghetti in front of her. Another example of somebody else that Haley is rubbing the wrong way. Let's get more of Angela real quick before I go, because her, Jason, and Drew were the most entertaining parts of feeds yesterday. Angela's cracking continued. She sat up in the hammock with Haley and tried to yank information from her, asked Haley who was with her.
Who's with you? Don't fuck with me.
Really was like, don't fuck with me. Please don't. Just tell me, which she did. She said she was with Chuck and Kamu. As if that wasn't obvious. I don't know if that was Angela testing Haley, if she would be honest or not. Much like Jason is starting to notice that Angela has a different energy with him that night, Angela's starting to notice that Lala has been distant with her and talked to Devins about it if she should confront Lala. Devins says maybe just pull her aside and talk. Don't make it a big old confrontation. She told him that Haley told her earlier that they need to make great TV, and that is what really upset Angela, I think. But I think people are going to come in to this game expecting Angela to be Angela. And I know Angela has said she wants to play to win, but you can see she's already cracking, which is fine by me. And I think Devins can see that Angela is starting to unravel. In a late night talk with Dee, he did tell Dee that Angela is starting to get a little paranoid. Dee and Devins were discussing the game, and they seem mighty confident, as they should. They are with a bunch of newbies, most of which are going to be weak. It is kind of like last season all over again. But, last season had scared players when it came to Rachel, and it was full of dumb players. But at least a lot of those players were cracked. They did provide entertaining feeds. I could not stand Keanu's ass, but I can't say that he didn't provide some good feeds. These people this season look like they might also be weak when it comes to the vets, but they're also boring. That's a terrible combination. So, Dee and Devins going over all of these scenarios, seeming very confident about everything. In a regular season, when people start to get this confident so early, things start to really go to shit for them. I would love for that to happen. I don't see it happening. Although if Angela keeps cracking, that could cause problems. So I am definitely going to keep rooting for Angela cracking. Outside of that, there was not a lot of other game stuff that happened yesterday. They did their dancing outside. Jason gagged everybody when Selena S. titties came out of him during his performance. Later, Taylor and Lala asked Jason about RuPaul's Drag Race, and he lied and said he auditioned 6 times but has never made it on. So clearly he's going to continue to lie about that. And he should. They did not put him as part of the cast as a reality TV icon. And I do think that is why he does feel some kind of way about these other icons. But it is a good cover for him. He got a little sloppy yesterday, although he doesn't know that Drew's going to be this big old rat whose head is up the vet's asses. So I don't completely blame him. And I feel like both Dee and Angela are still shaky on who to believe between Jason and Drew.